This is Sleep is Wrong by Sleepytime Gorilla Museum off of I think their first record. This was a challenge. I started off thinking that this might be some sort of 12-tone row because it's just so dissonant all over the place. Started by figuring out the bass pattern, which is in 5/8. And once I locked that down, I started figuring out some of these notes that stood out to me, some of the accents, and then filling in the other odd chromatic notes. So let's hear this real quick. Let's hear what I have programmed. And then it repeats one more time, and then it's into the next section of the song. So this is a phrase of 9 bars in 5/8, and then it repeats 3 times. So 3 times 9 is what, 27? So it's a 27 bar section. It could be considered like a intro or a, who knows? They don't necessarily have normal song structures. So the bass is playing G notes, and it's just an octave. So it's in 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that loops 9 times. And the melody note, which I think is played on guitar and violin, sort of in a stereo panning situation. You've got this thing where it starts on the perfect fifth, and it's playing a lot of eighth notes. I'm not going to go over every single note, but some of the notes that stood out to me as accent notes were the perfect fifth, which is D, and then the G. And then when we're up here, we hit a major third. And then over here, a minor third, which makes it kind of dark. And then a tritone, flat 5 there. And then it lands here on another perfect fifth, which is a half step up from this one. And then this one is pretty dissonant, but it's not too bad, but depends on the context that you're listening to it in, which I'll explain in a few minutes. This major 7, F sharp. And then another accent note, which is a perfect fifth up. And then a flat 5. Interesting, huh? So when you're listening to this song, there's also one of the things that's keeping the pulse is the hi-hat. Let me see if I can grab this. There's a hi-hat going on. So the drummer is somehow playing 5/8 and then playing, I think, groups of 3 in his hi-hat. So that will actually sound like this. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. That's pretty interesting. That's a definite conflict with this 5/8 thing. When I was laying in bed last night, I tried playing that rhythm, just the 5/8 against the 3, and I gave up pretty quickly. So I don't know what this person was thinking. This drummer is some sort of mutant. Here's another thing that I noticed. I was trying to sort of figure out, reverse engineering, what this whole sequence is based around. So it's a G sort of tonality, and I think it's closest to being G Lydian. So I have actually prepared a separate version where I muted some of the notes that didn't fit into G Lydian. Sounds a lot less dissonant, and I actually moved the final note up an octave so that it would kind of fit into the key a little bit better. There's that sharp 4, basically, flat 5, sharp 4. Anyway, let's hear how that sounds in a more Lydian tonality. And remember, all I'm doing is muting a bunch of these chromatic notes that are sort of off-key dissonances that are not even the accent notes. Primarily, this sounds very Lydian. Check this out. So to reverse engineer this, you could say, I'm going to write a thing in Lydian with 5/8. I'm going to play this melody, and then I'm going to throw in a few other notes that don't belong for extra dissonance. Anyway, I highly recommend checking out this piece of music, the original, if you haven't before. It's got a lot of interesting stuff happening. And also, what I have just done is I've muted the treble right hand part for this, and so I'm just going to isolate this bass line, which is in 5/8. So let's take a listen to that. So let's see if I can count along with that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that was a tough one. Almost got it. Have fun learning that drum beat if you want to try to put those things together. This is one of my favorite live bands to see from back in the day, and it's too bad that they ended up breaking up because it was quite a show. Definitely something worth seeing.